Hi Heather.
Hi.
So I have to say, since the last time I saw you and since the first time that we met, which was, I don't know, how long ago was it?
It was, oh my gosh,
It was,
like a long time. Well, it's 8 months ago.
yeah, something
So,
like
yeah.
8 months ago. You seem like a different person.
A totally different person.
Yeah, I mean, when we met, you were in tears and you were absolutely, I think, at your lowest point. I mean, that's how it seemed. You were totally devastated. Your health was just horrible, right? And now, I mean, seriously, I mean, I can't get over it. You're like a different person.
Thank you.
Okay, so
no, I mean, yeah, exactly. I'd love to share my story with everyone because that was the one thing that I promised. I was like, all right, if I ever get out of this, I'm going to share it with people. I want to talk about Lyme disease in general, and then, I'll go into what I did and stuff like that. About 4 years ago, I started getting immense anxiety, and I knew something was wrong. I went into work, and it was almost overnight. I couldn't, everything was different. Everything was just different. I was a very happy-go-lucky person, and the minute I got into work, I just said to my boss, I'm like, something's wrong. And he's like, what's wrong? I was like, I really don't know. I'm like, I gotta take a leave of absence from work. And, he's like, Heather, that's fine, whatever you want to do. And so I did. And, my anxiety was very immense. I had social phobia, agoraphobia. I was seeing, doctor after doctor that was giving me Xanax. And I took medication, but I wasn't really that into it, And, they said, you'll be fine. It really spiraled down, and I had a problem talking to people. I couldn't approach people anymore. My world became very, very small, to the point where all my friends have fallen off the face of the earth. I stopped calling people. I was scared of phones. I was scared of everything. And I slipped into an abyss, basically, a darkness. I was in my apartment, and everything was just very, very unmanageable. After that, what happened is that I did Lucinda Bassett's tapes. I'm sure a lot of people with anxiety and Lyme disease do these tapes.
hold on, sorry, you did what?
Lucinda Bassett. It's like an anxiety, these anxiety programs, the Linden method. And I was walking around the city, going
like a self-help.
Right, like a self-help, like I am great, I am fine, everything's fine, I am beautiful, and it didn't work. And I was like, what is wrong? Like something's totally wrong with me. And then I just, it got worse and worse, and all of a sudden my anxiety later that year turned into something that it was totally foreign to me. It was depersonalization. And depersonalization is where you feel like you're away from the world. My senses were off, I couldn't even touch the couch. Looking back, I really think that my depersonalization was a way of my body kind of protecting itself from the anxiety because it was so much that it just kind of shut down. But I heard my voice. I was able to hear my voice. I was a robot. I felt I felt taken over by something, possessed. I was really in another dimension beyond this dimension. So this is before I knew I had Lyme disease. So it's very strange, my story. And then I spoke to some people. I was very, very inquisitive. I was like, what is it? Like, what's going on with me? And I knew that some of my symptoms overlapped with a lot of addicts and like drug addicts. Like I was very similar to these people, and I was like, what? Why are they similar to me? And I'm not on any drugs. I'm not on any, And
in what sense? What symptoms? What drug addict symptoms did you?
They were very. I felt like I was similar to someone who's just totally far gone. A homeless person who was a drug addict who was just totally just lost it, crossed the line in life. There's a certain lifeline, and I just crossed this line, and it was like a darkness. I can't explain it.
So you felt totally disattached to society.
Detached from society, the world, everything. My world was very, very, very small. And, I was able to combat it, actually. I was able to combat it using the 12 steps, which is, that's amazing. A lot of people don't do that. But
so one of those self-help things actually helped to some degree.
For depersonalization, it was okay. I was able to, you know, I was able to, you know, do it step by step every day and basically, you know, like make this into my project. The problem is that after depersonalization, I went into derealization. Derealization is completely different. Derealization is when you feel like you're high. I felt like I was high. You're away from the world, but it's a little different right now. It's like this was like more of a physical problem. This was now physical, like that something was wrong. So a lot of people, you know, talk about depersonalization, derealization. They are two different phenomenons, and they could overlap. So in my derealization, this came on before I got finally diagnosed with Lyme disease, but I had no physical symptoms, so it was very strange.
So what caused that derealization? What caused this high?
Derealization, I think in hindsight, was probably caused by the neurotoxins from the Lyme bacteria itself. I've seen various, you know, videos. I think Dr. Horowitz has one where he talks about I think it was Dr. Horowitz where he talks about the spirochete actually drilling itself into the tissues, and when it does this, the neurotoxins get emitted. But I can't be quite sure if it was him, but anyway, so what happens is that it drills itself into your tissues. So what happens is that your immune system is basically attacking these tissues, and so that's what basically makes it autoimmune. So, but in any case, yeah, so I had derealization. I can only talk about my symptoms. I can't really, you know, I don't really know, like the medicine part is still being researched by a lot of people with Lyme disease because it's not very well researched. But I can only talk about my symptoms, and I can only talk about the fact that I don't have derealization. So
hold on a second. So that day when you went to work and you said to your boss something is wrong, how long ago was that?
That was 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay. 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. So let's see. We're in I'm losing track. 2010. So that was 2000. It was fall of 2006.
Okay. So
it's been a while. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like 3.5 years.
Yeah. So so in any case, I had derealization when at this point, and this is a phenomenon where I felt like I was high. That's all I can really explain to you. I had acute sensitivity to sounds, so this was different than my depersonalization. Now this was a real physical problem, and I couldn't hear loud sounds anymore. I had electromagnetic sensitivity. I had chemical sensitivity. And, you know, now I'm kind of like, okay, now there's something physically wrong. You know, and my anxiety, you know, was okay. I mean, I was able to get it under control from the various things that I did before, but it was very different. So
okay, so when the first symptoms started kicking in, when you went to work and you said something is off, what did you do? Did you go to a doctor?
The first thing you do, I mean, when you have anxiety, you go to a psychiatrist or a therapist, and you're like.
Okay, so first you thought that that's an emotional or a psychological problem.
I thought it was completely emotionally based, and I mean, it was.
Right.
But that's the weird part. Underneath all of that, the Lyme causes anxiety.